past little while that it's been August of 2000 this month that we connected with Dr. Russ in Ashland, Virginia. Most of you heard the story how we connected there, but it's this month in the year 2000 that we met. And we invited Dr. Russ to come to Canada, and he officially came here in October, and it's October 22nd of the year 2000. And the thing that really touched me the most was that about covenant. Because when we met Dr. Russ, Eagle Worldwide was just a dream. It has not yet manifested. He shared his dream with us. And all that Eagle Worldwide is doing today, he shared it with us. And we partnered with him because the Lord told us to walk with this man. When there was nothing to be seen, there was no titles to be had, there was nothing, just the man. We partnered with him because the Lord instructed us to. And that's covenant. And we're standing here today, 24 years later. And I can tell you, a true covenant is tested. You go through seasons where it's not always right, and the enemy knows when God has ordained a relationship, a covenant relationship in your life, it's always going to come under the most intense attack that you would ever imagine, because the enemy hates covenant. He hates marriages. He hates God-given marriages, God-given relationships. He doesn't want them because he knows of the power that's going to be released through those relationships. And we had our fair share of them, but we stood. We stood, and we're still standing, and stronger than ever before. Because we've seen this man. Listen, we've had the opportunity of him living in our house for several weeks in Canada, and over the years he's been always at our place, and so we get to know him behind this pulpit, and and off to the side. We get to see him in both places. Out of the pulpit, behind the pulpit. He's the same. What you see is what you get. And so when God tells you to follow somebody, when God's calling us, that just touched my heart so deeply. Because I thought, how many people would follow somebody with just the word of the Lord? Abraham did. He obeyed the Lord because the Lord called him. The Lord called him to leave his family and follow and go to a place he didn't know. And Brother Russ, the things that you taught us, and I think back of the times that you challenged us to rise higher, to dig deeper, to push in, to push further. And because of the way that you pursued us, and you never let up on us, and yes, we've got many flaws and faults, but you loved us through it all. You never stopped loving us. And because of that, we are today who we are. We're standing because he never gave up on us. Because he saw greatness inside of us. And it's wonderful to have a brother, a father, a mentor, a spiritual father, and everything that he means to us, to believe in you. He believed in us. He believes in you. And that's why Eagle Worldwide is today what it is. And so many are coming on board and are going to continue to come on board because, this man has stand the test of time. And he had a lot of tests to go through, but he's still standing here today. And we are honored and we are privileged that the Lord, and I say this with much humility in my heart, that he gave us that opportunity to open the doors of this nation for him to come as an apostle and as a prophet. And I say that humbly today. And we are so thankful for each and every one of you that are here and those that are watching online, that you are standing with Eagle Worldwide today and that you will continue to stand and not be shaken or not be moved. And so, Dr. Russ, it's an honor today to celebrate you, 75 years of living. You're coming up on 25 years, your Silver Jubilee here in Canada. And it's an honor to celebrate you. And with deep love and great appreciation, I stand here today. And I would just want you all to just stand and let's just honor him tonight. For 25 years, that's coming up here in Canada. Sorry, hon. Yes. Brother Russ, we love you. We love you. We honor you. And we thank the Lord for your life. We thank the Lord tonight, and we bless you.
I can say ditto. I mean, it's been so good. Let me just say two very short stories because I got a minute. And most of you know, as Victoria said, the most prophetic thing I ever told Russ in Nashville, Virginia, at a Ponderosa restaurant was, you need to come to Canada. I went back to my pastor, you need to hear, this guy's got to come to Canada. I never, in 10 years being there, I never recommended anybody to come and speak, and I never heard him preach. Anyway, he came to Canada, and our church here was born, and then the Eagle Worldwide was born, and Russ and Maeve got married. And then he started talking about covenant. Victoria talked about it. I didn't know those things still existed. You know, I was like, I thought, I'm not sure. Who is this guy? You know, I've only known him 3 months, and he's talking about covenant the rest of your life. So I was a little nervous, and then I had two people, my former pastor and one other pastor, get a hold of me, and there, okay. All right. Well, I'm going a little over here. And so anyway, what happened was, I started pulling back a little bit, just a little wee bit, not very much. And I don't know how to turn this thing off now. So I prayed in our house in Toronto. I prayed and says, God, man, we've started a church. We're traveling. Everything is going great. And but this covenant thing, a little nervous. And so I got up in the middle of the night once, and I was looking out over from our window on the second floor and looking out, and the Lord had given me a dream, and I was praying it through, and the Lord said, this is me. The next morning, he was preaching to Pastor Carol. So we got a lot of history with Pastor Carol. She's just let's give Pastor Carol and Ron a big hand. So I go to the church. Victoria and we go to the church. Our services was in the evening. And I go to the church, and I couldn't wait for Russ to finish preaching. I was the first one at the altar, and I just began to hug and weep and ask for forgiveness. And there's been other testings, but there's never been a time when we didn't honor that covenant that we made. Now that's 24 years ago. Let me go to last week and finish with this. The type of man Dr. Russ is best seen in an ice plunge. Last Thursday, he starts talking about Jim over here. Good to have Jim here with us. And he says, Jim's been telling me about the ice plunge. And I says, yeah, I've been hearing about it too. And I said, I know a place where we can go do it. Neither one of us has done it. He says, let's do it. So we get our bathing suits. We go down. It's around the corner from here. And we get in. And in true apostle form, he says, I'll go first. I says, you go ahead. 50 degrees. He goes in, and they say that if you last a minute the first time, you've done really good. If you last 3 minutes the second time, you are through the roof. So Dr. Russ gets in. He doesn't have his hearing aids in. He gets in. You could tell that it was cold. He didn't say anything. He just sat down, and you could read the expression on his face. And so I start counting, 5 seconds. Hey, you did 10 seconds, you did 15 seconds, keep going. 30 seconds, a minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I'm telling him all the time. He didn't hear me. We get to 9 minutes. And he's like this, closed eyes, almost underwater. So I go over to him, I say, he looked at me shocked. He got up and he says, that's the longest 3 minutes I ever. But here's where it ties back to the type of person he is. Not only did he do it, go first, and he did it, and he exceeded every expectation. Now it's my turn. Now I'm used to swimming. I love lakes. I've been in cold water. I got in there. I ain't never been in that cold water. And I finally go down, and I'm ready to jump right out. I'm watching the clock. 10 seconds. And all I can think of was the man of God was in there for 10 minutes. I gotta do 1 minute. Anyway, I got through. I got about 5 or 6 minutes in. Came out. And then, of course, you switch. So he went back in. No problem. He went another 6. We only had 20 minutes, so we didn't have a lot of time. So he goes in for 6 minutes, and then I go in. Second time was almost easier. Now I've got this. The man of God did 10 minutes. I got to do 10 minutes. And I managed to do 10 minutes. And the thing I want to say, we went back again today, and he was first again, and he did another 10 minutes. I mean, it's amazing. And he can tell you all the benefits of it. But here it is. 75 years old. He's still pushing himself. He opened up Eastgate Worship Barn last year. He opened up another campground. There's so many things that are on it. I mean, he's traveling more than most people half his age. I mean, this man sets the example for us all. He is a go-getter. I'm telling you, I've done things that I would never do. I don't know. I think I'm losing my time here. Okay. This man has challenged all of us, encouraged us, and Dr. Russ, we love you, and thank you for the 24 years.